Hey, welcome everybody. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Kepley, and today is February 21st, 2017. In today's video, I just wanted to cover a subject here on bank runs. And I'm on Zero Hedge right now, and this article was taken about 5 days ago. And they're talking about the Greek bank run, how it's re-accelerating. And the title here is Massive Deposit Withdrawals Despite Capital Controls. Now, if you've paid attention in the past, say, 5 or 6 years to some of the bank runs that have taken place, one of the others that really made headlines was the Cyprus banking crisis. And what happened there was a bunch of people did basically the same thing that's happening in Greece. And a lot of the banks ended up either closing their doors or putting capital controls on withdrawals that people could make from ATMs. Now, capital controls basically, in a nutshell, they'll come out and they'll tell you, okay, you can only make a withdrawal on a certain amount of money, say, per week or per month. All right, and that's all you're allowed to withdraw from your bank. Now, this is why I've said in several of my videos, if you follow my channel, this is why you want to have cash on hand. Okay, it's very important that you do so because, again, if you have, let's say you have $20,000 in your bank account just sitting there, and the banks decide to close their doors, revalue the currency, or put capital controls on your withdrawals, you're going to be limited to the amount of cash that you have on hand during these crises. So it's really important to keep some money outside of banks, and this is exactly why. Now, if you read through the article here, they say the grave disagreement between the International Monetary Fund and the European leaders, the Grexit bombshells flying around, and Greece's reluctance to accept additional austerity measures have increased uncertainty among citizens. And so if you keep reading here, basically they say there's 2.5 billion euros left in Greek banks in the last 45 days. And this, despite the capital controls that allow Greeks to withdraw a maximum of just 1,800 euros per month. Okay, so there's still quite a bit of money left in the Greek banks here. I mean, 2.5 billion euros, it seems like a whole lot. But without looking at bank statements or balance sheets on the banks out there, I couldn't tell you. But 1,800 euros per month. So you're only allowed to withdraw a maximum of just 1,800 euros per month. You want to pay attention to how this plays out, because what's playing out here in Greece with the Greek banks is, I believe, and this is just my opinion, but I believe it's something similar that we're going to see here in the not too distant future happening with banks here in the U.S. Okay, and a lot of this all revolves around credit, all right, or the credit expansion of money. So here in the U.S., it would basically be your M2 money supply. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out, but They continue here. In addition to cash withdrawals, business loans, and mortgage, amounting a total of 500 million euros turned red, a sign that the delay in the conclusion of the second review has increased uncertainty among the Greeks, as the Daily notes. Excuse me here. According to a report of November 2015, more than 120 billion euros left the Greek banks during the years of this crisis. 45 billion euro left the banks during November of 2014 to 2015. 80% of this amount, that is some 36 billion, are been kept in homes, company safes, or in bank lockers. Okay, so again, you can see here that it looks like a lot of the people were taking money out of the banks and just going with the old strategy of cash under the mattress. All right, so if you're wondering if banks are going to be honest with you in times of financial crisis. This is a great example, and this is actually happening right now, guys. This is a great example of banks, not being so honest. Okay, they're trying to cover their butts here so that they can keep cash in the banks. And a lot of this, again, it revolves around currencies or fiat currencies and the valuation of those currencies. They want people to believe that there's still some value there in the currency, and in order to keep people in the banks, they go ahead and implement these capital controls. But I just wanted to show that to you guys because it's in your face. Here it is. If you have any doubts as to whether or not banks will actually put capital controls on or close their doors to you, even if you have money that's FDIC insured, if you're wondering if they'll do any of that, well, here it is. It's actually happening right now, just in a different country. So I believe, though, that you're going to see something like this play out, right here in the United States when we have our next financial crisis. And the reason why is because we could continue expanding our credit through the M2 money supply, but if we do that, it's going to devalue the currency even more. And with interest rates at almost zero for the past decade, they really can't lower interest rates anymore without going negative. And if you remember last year, Europe, with a couple other countries in the Eastern Asian countries, went negative on interest rates just to experiment to see what that would do, and that didn't play out in their favor too well. So I doubt that you'll see the Federal Reserve here lowering interest rates to a negative rate. Okay, so their only choice is going to be to either demonetize the debt and we default on our debt, or we continue expanding the credit, in our monetary system. And this is going to lead to people here in America, basically doing what the Greeks are doing right now, pulling their money out of the banks, putting it in their mattress, and trying to get away from them so that banks can't, basically put capital controls on the citizens. That's all I have for right now. I'm going to go ahead and shoot another video here at a later date, and I'm going to cover stuff like IPOs because there's a lot of chatter going on right now with Snapchat, and there's been investors who actually have been investing in the wrong company for Snapchat. So I thought that was interesting because it kind of caught my attention, and I was like, well, I might shoot a video on IPOs here soon, and kind of give people a better insight into IPOs and when a company goes public on the stock exchange and things that you can kind of consider before you invest in something like that. But that, again, is a video I'll shoot at a later date. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm covering financial events on the markets, investing topics abroad, and I'm just trying to help educate people out there on making better investment decisions. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and I will talk to you guys here in the next video. And remember, be patient, guys. As investors, you have to be patient, okay? And you have to kind of keep track on technicals and fundamentals of any type of investment that you're going into. And when I talk about fundamentals, I'm talking about stuff like what you're seeing on this article here with the Greek bank runs. You have to be aware of this kind of stuff so you can make better educated decisions on your investments and your finances. All right, so remember, be patient, and income is the outcome. I'll talk to you guys later.